I skipped the intro. You're not talking. You said you were going dark.
There I am.
Oh, guys.
You skipped it.
I skipped the intro. I don't care.
Listen, this is how this whole week's gone.
I hit the music and I was like, all right, we're doing this. Thank you guys for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. I'm Josh. That's Jake. And this is supposed to be a podcast that we've been doing 262 other times. And we're rolling.
We're rolling.
Merry Christmas.
You filthy animal.
Yeah.
All the things.
Dang it, Bobby.
This episode is starting off like the Pirates off season.
Yeah. Actually, no. Way faster.
There you go.
We didn't wait for anything.
No.
Giga Mosher, Merry Christmas. Long-time listener, first-time caller. All right. I love it. Bucko Mike is all right. He's in here. He says, all I want is an impact move for Christmas. 100% right. And Steel City DW already has a Christmas wish in here for the Pirates.
Nice.
Henry Davis to ball out in 2025. I think that's probably something we can have some fun with. So I'll start by saying, if you're in the chat, put in some other Christmas wish list items for the Pirates, and we can, we won't know if we opened those gifts for a long time, but what else do you want me to do?
I'm getting to the point where I'm torn. This okay. I was getting ready to say this before we started. I'm like, I'll just say it. I'm almost like my Christmas wish is for them to do nothing. Just don't do anything. Just don't do anything. If we come out and flop, then see ya. It's been real. Moving on. I'm just getting so. I'm just watching all these moves being made, and there's not a lot of talent going the other way for some of these players. And I'm just like, these are dudes that were not out of reach that could have helped this team in 2025 win some games. And I just.
Who though?
Nathaniel Lowe could have helped. I mean.
Bucko Mike says Henry Davis Christmas wishes to make contact.
Listen, so here's that's mostly the negative side of what I'm saying, right? The other side is like, don't make moves and our players actually do get better and ball. Like, Steel City says, but everyone balls out. Like, we get the best of everybody and we actually do have a good year and we can build on that. But I feel like they're just missing the boat here. I don't know. I don't know. There's still some good players out there on the free agency that I think we could have a shot at. I think we're going to have to spend some money somewhere. So give me Profar at this point. That's where I'm at.
That's it. Give me Profar. We talked about that on our last show, and you sold me on Profar. I'm all in. I don't know if that's a thing that's going to happen. I mean, the thing is, because we could talk about that, right? Nathaniel Lowe goes from the Rangers over to the Nationals today in a trade. Seems like a pretty legitimate left-hander going the other way. But regardless, that was something that, that happened. And then Josh Naylor going to help me out here.
The Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks. And the guys that came back from that were not much, but it's a 1-year contract. It's a 1-year contract for a guy who's has a specific set of skills, right?
Hitting bombs,
which is a good skill to have in today's game. I'm just saying though, right? You know what I mean?
I didn't really want him because I didn't really want his character. on
Well,
our team.
I
but
think that's playing
I
a
would have
little
loved
bit.
his home runs.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. That might be a little bit of a part of it, but also Santana gets picked up by Cleveland in the same process, and you had to think the way that happened is that trade was already locked in, but the only way it was happening is if they were going to acquire Santana. So then once the trade happened, once the Santana signing was about to happen,
Yeah, I think
then
that happened first.
they locked the trade in, and then they went with the signing, right? But they had to make sure that the two of those, or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe they already had Santana ready to sign. Maybe that's probably more like it, right? And they were like, we agree to this, but we're only going to do this if this trade with Naylor goes through. So maybe that's it, right? Either way,
Yeah.
Jake. Either way. And I'm struggling. I mean, you could talk about Jesus Luzardo, but he went for a pretty legit prospect. Like that was actually a big return. That's trading Tamar Johnson for him. You know what I mean? From what I understand, I could be wrong on that, but the other guys are first base, and the Pirates already made their first base move,
Right.
and so
they kind of isn't. Oh no, never mind. I'm retarded. I was like, well, no, because you could do the platoon thing. They're both left-handed.
yeah, they're all left. Everybody we're talking about. Gosh, dang it! Sorry.
Hand?
I just rubbed my elbow right against. I got my glove. I got my big mat off for all of you
your
who.
glove?
My glove. I have my my oven
It was
mitt.
your base stealing
my
glove.
base stealing oven mitt. Had surgery on my hand. If you don't like stitches and wounds, look away. But I'll show everybody else if I can get it in there. How did I do that before?
Oh, you did it real easy.
There it was.
There you go.
Now you can look back. Yeah. So I still
Lovely.
bump it, and it's all right. It's doing all right. It's better than having that big deal on.
There you go.
Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. So anyway, they're first basemen that are moving, and the Pirates have already done their move on first base, and that's what they're going to run with. So
yeah,
it's not. I mean, we talked about Max Kepler on the last one, which was the last outfielder really to go. So the next time we get mad is when Randall Grichuk signs, right? Or Jerks and Profar signs.
I'll be honest with you. I'll take what I got over Grichuk.
Over Grichuk?
Yeah. He's just a.
What do you got?
Was.
What do you got though?
I mean, I'll take a shot on Jack Sawinski.
Well, Jack Sawinski's left-handed. He would play against righties, and Grichuk would play against lefties.
I'll take my chances with like some of the. I don't know. Grichuk just doesn't seem like he's any good.
All right, now's the time.
And this isn't me looking up any stats.
That's what I'm saying. You sold me on Profar, so hear me out. Because the splits are, first off, he's a 2.2 WAR player without looking at the splits, and a 140 OPS plus last year. With Arizona. He had 12 home runs, but he played in 106 games. He's going to be largely a platoon player. But 291, 348, 528. You know what I mean? A 140 OPS plus.
Okay. I thought he hadn't done anything since he left St. Louis years ago.
No, it's been better than that. So last year against lefties, 319, 386, 528. It's a 156 OPS plus in like for the league. I'll also say, let me get to here. Runners in scoring position, he at 324.
Okay.
With a 180 OPS plus. That's with runners in scoring position. So yeah. Yeah, Randall Grichuk would be, to me, that would be a guy that would fit pretty well here. And if you don't make any other moves and you go with Jack, then, I don't know. To me, that's an upgrade over saying, all right, we're going with Jack and Billy Cook and Wright. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't realize. I honestly didn't even look at his numbers because never thought he was any good. So that one's on me. That got
well, he was
past
good
me.
in Colorado, and then he went to L.A. In L.A., it's hard to be good in L.A. in 23. In 22 and 21, not great. In Toronto and Colorado, like just barely above average, or barely above, not above average.
That's
barely
the last
below
team
average.
That's the last team I remember him playing for was Toronto.
Well, he had a couple good years with Toronto, but he was basically right around league average. If he would have just been playing, maybe against lefties. But his first 2 years in Toronto, he had 25 and 31 homers.
I did not know that.
Huh. Yeah, actually. Yeah. I mean, solid player.
Okay.
And veteran, you're probably just going 1 year deal with him. He's going to be your guy against lefties. Dave says he'd take his chances with Jack and Cook too. Bucko Mike says Grichuk was on pace for 100 RBIs. Yeah, I mean, the runners in scoring position is a big thing.
Yeah. Be nice to have two guys on the team good with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, Steel City says same. Jack and Cook invest elsewhere like middle infield at this point. So that's interesting to me. We need a right fielder more than we need a middle infielder. I understand IKF at shortstop. It doesn't excite me either, and that's somebody I'd like to see moved. However, he's more passable than what we have in right field. And Nick Gonzalez playing shortstop is more passable than what we have in right field. If maybe like a Nick York is stepping up at second base. You know what I'm saying? So Dave White says, I'd rather have Austin Hayes. That's fair too. His numbers aren't quite Grichuk, but there's, maybe a little younger, maybe a little more exciting in a way. I feel like we are approaching, and this is the problem. I mean, we're approaching our third straight episode of really hammering down on right field again. And that's because that's the single greatest need. That and left-handers in the bullpen.
Yeah.
So I don't honestly, I don't think you can go into the season with Jack and Cook I think either one of those guys could make their way into playing more, but you can't go into the spring training with those two guys.
Yeah. That's fair. I agree with that.
And there's probably a couple guys out there that are similar on both sides, right? Because you could even say, like, I'd take Jock Peterson. I know that we don't know if he can play a lot of outfield right now, but I'd take it because he will thump. And if you could get something, you know what I mean? Bucko Mike keeps sending me these messages about this Cam Boozer guy. Isn't that a basketball player? What are we talking about? I don't need that guy. There's other guys.
No idea.
Just giving him a hard time. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to go back to a comment here.
Dude.
Dave White.
Bro,
Wait, go ahead.
Bro has a red Fu Manchu, man. I don't know.
That's a bad sign. Dave White says these current trades are making the Horwitz trade look worse and worse. I'm going to tell you something that I'm seeing, and I think it makes sense to all of you. They're not paying for talent anymore. They're not paying for salaries anymore. They're not, like, as far as trades, the value is the fact that Horwitz has 5 years. It's maybe 6. I think there's some mixed. I gotta feel like it's 5, but
yeah.
Either way, like, you got 1 year of control of Josh Naylor. You're not going to get anything back for that. You're never going to get anything back for that. Control is too important today. Right. It's way too important. There is no way I'm giving you hardly anything for 1 year of a player, for a borrowed player. You know what I'm saying? I used to be just at the deadline. That was a thing. But even at the deadline, I would pay the same price at the deadline for somebody who I thought could push me over the edge in the playoffs than I would at the beginning of the year to only have 1 year of a guy. It doesn't make sense, but it's the fact that if you're doing it at the deadline, that means you actually have a chance. But I'm not doing it right now. I'm not giving you very much.
Yeah. Everybody has a chance at the beginning of the year.
And everybody could also have 4 of their guys on the shelf and not have a good season. I'm just saying, I want to make sure I'm there before I give up. All I'm saying is before I give up a big prospect for a 1-year player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or or just a productive player. Cause you could say like, well, Luis Ortiz wasn't really a prospect, but like we gave up valuable players. And you do that to get, I mean, really, but what you're saying is like Michael Kennedy is the one that I liked more. But he's probably not. I mean, there's like 7 guys I'd put ahead of him. You know what I mean? And Luis Ortiz is in the back of the rotation. So it's not like you gave up Jared Jones and Xander Meath or, you know what I mean, any of those top level guys.
Yeah.
So it's not like you did something like that, right? It could have been better. And Dave says, could have used Ortiz for a better player than Horwitz. I think this is the big thing. This is what we were talking about. I think if you packaged Ortiz with better prospects, you could have done better than Horwitz. Certainly. You could have done better. If he went with a Xander Meath and a Michael Kennedy, what player does that get you? If he goes with an Ashcraft and a Xander Meath, that's a big return. You know what I mean? And then you might be able to land, I don't know, Heston Kjerstad or something. You know what I'm saying? Like there's guys out there that you could see like, oh, legitimately you could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things. Mutu says we saw King Tuck only got the Astros 1 top 100 prospects and a fine MLB player. One of the best 10 players in the league. Name of the game is control. And this is just another thing. Now, Isaac Paredes is probably going to hit 30 home runs in Houston, but that's literally just because like that park will play to his strength, right? But 1 year, I mean, that you're talking about like, just think about the Soto trades and what teams got back for Juan Soto, right? Michael King goes to San Diego. CJ Abrams goes to, and more, right? But Mackenzie Gore, and I mean, there was James Wood. Like, there's so much went to the Nationals. But now, of course, that was Soto and Josh Bell. But the idea is that, like, you look at the returns that Juan Soto got, you look at the returns that some of these players got, and compare that to what the Cubs just sent at the Astros for 1 year of Tucker. And it's like, it's 1 year of control. That's the thing. Yeah. And I think the Cubs have even come out and said and understood that they're not going to be able to extend him. And the reason is because of what Soto just got. He's not the hitter that Soto is, Jake.
No.
But he's better on the bases. He's better in the outfield.
He's a better player.
He's a better player overall. All well-rounded, right? And I think you could make the argument. I'm not going to sit here and say, like, it's certainly a good argument to say, yeah, but Soto's hit tool is so good that he's a better player. That's fine. I'm not going to argue against that. Like, I think it's just, they're both phenomenal. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But 1 year of a guy just doesn't get you what it used to. It just too much goes into control. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on, but if I was to say, it's just so obvious. If we were to do a Christmas, hey, what is the Christmas Pirates wish list? It's a right fielder. Oh, what did you say? If it's not a right fielder, you said it's a 4-hitter.
No, a 4-hitter. Yeah. I mean, shoot, I want somebody in our life. Cruz can. Not saying he can't. But I want somebody that's a 30-homer guy.
Yeah.
Not a couple players who might be able to hit 30 home runs.
Yeah. I once again, the Horwitz trade gets better if you get a good right fielder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't hate Horwitz by any means. I think he can be a good, productive player. He's just not that thump we needed.
Yep. And he's actually going to fit the need of this lineup, right?
Yeah.
Bucko Mike says Cruz is the 4-hitter.
I highly doubt it. Sure, he'll hit fourth a couple times.
Like we said, everybody will hit everywhere with Derek Shelton.
Right. I think he's going to bat anywhere from 1 to 3.
So the thing is, though, Bucko Mike, is if he's the 4-hitter, yeah, you've got 1 and 3. Like, who the heck is at the top of the order? You know what I mean? And he's probably right, though, Jake. It's going to be IKF. I think our point is then get somebody else so that IKF doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be IKF at the top of the order.
He's definitely not a IKF. IKF's not a top of the order hitter.
No. And that's going to be where the problem is. So if you have, obviously Reynolds at 2, I'm thinking right now your 4-hitter's Kutch. Or your leadoff hitter is Kutch. But then who's your 3-hitter?
It's
Cruz.
The only way Cruz becomes a 4-hitter is if you get a guy like Profar, who could hit 3.
We said 1 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different kind of 1-hitter, but he performed well in that spot.
Yeah.
Well, no, we said he actually was like so many games. He actually walked more than he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bucko Mike says Kutch leadoff, Reynolds second, Grichuk and Jack is your 3-hitter.
We ain't trying for the division, are we?
I mean, I could see parts of that, but like I just think you have to have your better hitters should hit more often. Cruz will be at the top of the order, either 1, 2, or 3. Obviously,
Cruz
2,
is going to hit in the first inning every game.
He's got to hit in the first inning every game. So, listen, here's a Christmas tweet, right? Or I said tweet, chat. Any chance of Emmanuel, come God with us? I had to throw it in there. Come on, we're trying to do something. We got to do something Christmas. Any chance of Valdez starting at second with Gonzalez? Okay, so I'm going to be short-sighted here. No chance at all. That's my short-sightedness. There's always a chance. He's on the 40-man roster. So if his mother's listening to this, absolutely there's a chance. But it's got to be, I mean, you're talking about Nick Gonzalez at second base. You're talking about Jared Triolo, Leover Peguero, Nick York. G1 Bay is still on the roster right now. IKF if something else happens. I think all those guys are in front of Valdez when it comes to starting at second base.
No, I think you're out of your mind.
What? Who?
You think G1 Bay is above him?
Yeah. I think this guy. This guy has a chance of not even making it on the 40-man. Neither does Bay. I'm just saying Bay's been there. You think Bay's all the way in the outfield now?
Emmanuel Valdez played for the Red Sox last year.
He
he's been
started
in the majors. He hit 6 home runs last year, so he had to play some games.
Yeah,
he had 200 at bats last year,
and he had a negative 0.6 WAR. Like this is dumpster diving, Jake. This is a nobody. He's gonna be on the 40-man, and he's gonna scratch and claw. I mean, if he can grind and he can make something happen, sure, but like there's nothing there, Jake. He had a 74 OPS plus. He's bad. Well, at least he was bad. I'll say that. It's a shot in the dark, dude.
He's played parts of 3 seasons in AAA with 38 homers.
Show it to me in spring training, man.
He's got power. That's why I put him ahead of some of those guys.
There's more of a chance.
Especially G1 Bay.
Dave, there's more of a chance than I said. All right, definitely G1. I mean, G1 Bay's not making it on this roster through the offseason either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that's my opinion. He's gone. All right. So Dave says he did hit for power in the minors. So Jake's saying the same thing. So we're here. I get it. And no, Dave also said, have you looked at his minor league numbers? No, I didn't. because I passed this up like it was a waiver claim. I'd never heard of the guy we traded for him. I think if that's the trade I'm talking about. I don't know. So, okay, so Sherrod says he may replace Alika. I don't think so. I mean, unless this guy's also like a wizard on the field. I don't see that.
He's not a wizard on the field.
No? All right, then. He's replacing, I guess, I don't know, unless you have Bay fully to the outfield. I have him fully off the 40-man, so.
He's actually a bad fielder.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Just what we needed.
I hadn't looked at that. Now I feel a little less, but I still think he's above Bay because Bay is a terrible fielder too.
Yeah, well, like I said, right now I have Bay slotted for off the 40-man, so the waiver wire.
Yeah.
That's my outlook on that. I don't know, man. I look at this as one of those insignificant things, and I'll say this like just to say it, right? It's one of those insignificant moves that the player himself is the only one that can make it significant.
Yeah.
Right? Because anyone at any time, all of these guys are still professional players, right? So we say things like, just to clarify, right? I guess it's supposed to be the season of saying good things. All these players are professional baseball players. We can say he stinks and he's bad. It's a curve, Jake. All these guys are great.
Curve.
These guys are great. All of them. If we say this guy's a bad fielder, he's actually a great fielder in the context of the whole world, right? But we do. We put everything in this in comparison to his peers in the major leagues. And so we use words like bad. He's not a nobody. I've heard it. I've heard the line, he's a bad baseball player. And that's where I'm like, that's the line that you drew. And that's where you crossed it. Like, he is a good baseball player. He's just not good in comparison to the rest of them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Bucko Mike's still on the lineup here. And he makes a point that McCutchen did not hit well in the 4-hole. So he will likely not be in the 4-hole. So there's your Christmas theme. He says, I'm the Grinch. Don't back Kutch fourth. I'm all for that. I think Kutch is probably leadoff.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've been saying. If it's not Cruz, it's Kutch. And Kutch could also hit 3. But I think everybody was kind of talking about how he did well in the leadoff spot last year. He sees a lot of pitches. It's one of those things. I could see him doing that again. I could also see him batting 5th. I could see him settling into the 4-hole if Cruz is ahead of him. And there's a lot of dynamics there. Who's behind him and all those things, right? So I don't know that that's necessarily like, I mean, things can change from one year to the next.
Yeah.
All right. So Christmas wish list. Let's throw a couple other things out here. Well, I had something. Here's one for you. Why not, Jake? Why not? Why can't the Pirates get Roki Sasaki?
There's no one said they can't. Let's, make a push. Let's go get him. But can Sherrington cross the finish line?
I don't know what it's going to take. Because you heard the conversation like, oh, he's a Dodger. Because the Dodgers are going to say, yeah, just take whatever we give you. I promise you, we're gonna extend you as soon as we get you. But then it was like all these things that were said kind of felt like, well, nobody has a shot. It's going to be the Dodgers. And then all of a sudden it flipped to kind of like, I don't think the Dodgers have a shot. Why else would they be doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why even do this? And then there was a lot of things that came out, and I kind of thought, man, I don't know. I don't know if he is going there. I don't know if it's going to be San Diego. If anybody else that's there, because they talk about, well, so and so is playing there, so and so is in L.A. and San Diego and Chicago with Imanaga and Darvish and Ohtani and Yamamoto and all that stuff, and I'm like, how much do they care about that? How important is that to some of these players that there's like these guys that they've looked up to or played with before already on the team. I don't know.
Yeah. I would think that it would have a good bit to do with it. Like, I would think it would bear some weight,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I think
I mean,
it
you're
used
going
to
another
more than it
country.
does now, right? I think it used to more than it does now.
Maybe so. But I just see it as like, you're going to another country. If you can get around some familiarity. It's a hard word to say. Familiarity. Still can't say it. Anyway, some familiar guys, some familiar faces.
Steel City
if you can put
says
yourself.
a lot of buzz saying he might be going to San Diego. Still, that was one of the very early things.
Yeah.
Just go out and get it done. Because here's the thing. We've talked about this lineups too much to say like, well, we don't love it. There are some good pieces. And if people continue to get better, let's talk about Cruz. Let's talk about Gonzalez. Let's talk about whatever happens at third base. If that's better offensively, whether it's Key or Triolo or whatever. If Horwitz can be a good bat to ball guy that this team's been missing and actually be good with runners in scoring position as he has been, that's good too. Put the ball in play, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's a thing, then that helps out in some way. Like you can start to say, and he hit 12 home runs in 97 games. So we talk about the lack of power, but like 12 and 97, it's like, all right, he can give us 15. And if he gets better, he can give us 20. Now he's a little bit older to say like that there's a huge swing there, but I'm just saying, right? There's a lot that you could say like, there's potential everywhere, but that's what you get. And that's why you can't love it. You have to have something else that's like, let's increase this to do something.
Yeah. Which
the Horwitz didn't make a big enough push. He did. Like I said, he's okay. Like he's a good player. It's not anything against him. It's what did this lineup really need? Well, they needed that, but they also needed power. They needed that, you know what I mean? I don't know. He fixed some of it. We got to be better against right-handed pitching.
I mean,
and we got to strike out less. He's fixing those two things. He's not fixing power.
Right.
And now we're starving for it.
Right. He's making the lineup better. Horwitz makes the lineup better.
Yeah.
It just doesn't move the needle on power, and that's what we need.
Yeah. Dave White says, I would tell him, talking about Roki, he would play in the best ballpark with the best starting pitcher. And that's what I was saying on the one. I was like, hey, why not, man? What if he's a huge Skeens fan?
Yeah.
Why not say, I saw what Skeens and Jones and Keller are doing? I mean, think about that rotation. And if he wants to say, I'm jumping into this, I see Bubba coming. Imagine those five.
Yeah. That'd be ridiculous.
You got to figure that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can lock that in, it changes what your outlook is because you're saying, dude, every day we've got something that you don't have.
Yeah.
And, you know, you might run into some games that you steal because of those guys. And
there's also a potential when you look at that 5-man rotation, if that were to happen, that there's a potential that Mitch Keller is your least effective starting pitcher. Just because of inconsistencies.
Yeah. I still think the innings count. And I still I value innings probably more than the next guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, not necessarily on this podcast.
True. But I'm just saying, like, even if his ERA is higher, if he throws 50 more innings than the guy who's 20 points ERA different, I'm giving it to the guy who pitched more.
Well, I didn't say better pitcher. I said more least effective.
I got you. So I like this. Dave White says Harrington at 6.
Yeah.
Because when you are going all those young guys, Jake, I'm still like, I'm kind of on the 6-man rotation train if it means that my guys can go 6 or 7 innings. If you're telling me that they can go a little bit longer because you're giving them an extra day off, then I'm on board.
But the problem, I mean, we just talked about this last episode, this whole article thing, that it's not going to change them the length that they're going to go in a game because they're going to go all out from pitch 1. It's not going to change.
Yeah. Well, Thomas Harrington may
Until-
be an example of that. Or maybe an exception to that. I don't really know.
And that's great. I hope he is because I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
He might
I
not be
love-
too. He might be hitting 92 and that's as hard as he can actually still throwing as hard as he can every throw. So
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, until the philosophy of pitching changes in an athlete in a pitcher, they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
yeah.
Doesn't mean just because you got an extra day off doesn't mean you're going to go more innings.
Yeah. Then I don't know how I would feel about it. You know what I mean? You also run the risk of I think that it kind of hurt Mitch Keller a little bit having that extra day off. I think he was already into the routine. And I think it kind of got messed a little bit. Not to mention, if you're going to go with Skeens in a winning season, you're going to go with him every 5th day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I feel like if you don't, you're missing out a little bit. But we talked about this before, that you could still go with that like long man, like a piggyback. So you would have like maybe Bubba and Harrington or whatever it was, you know what I mean? Pitching on the same day and try to just get through the game with 2 guys. And then on the days that it was tight, give them their own start or something like that. Like if you have a big run of games in a row.
Maybe.
I don't know. But anyway, you can go back. I think it was probably just the last episode we had that talk.
Yeah. This one here, Mike, do you put Keller at 5 behind? No, I don't put him at 5. I'm just saying he may be your least effective pitcher. He's still number 2. I'm going Skeens Keller.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way the rotations be set up. But that doesn't mean at the end of the year, when you look back on it, that he might be your least effective. And that's still probably even a good season from Keller. It's just that's how good some of these guys are. That's more of a testament to them than it's a knock on Keller. I think that's where I'm going with this.
Going into 25, like Keller's still the leader of this rotation. I think coming out of 25, I think Skeens will probably have, I think that will be enough for Skeens to also be part of that. And I just mean like veteran leader. I think you still pitch.
Sure.
It depends on how they line it up. You're going to have to figure something out.
Skeens is still going to throw game 1.
If Skeens throws game 1, or maybe Keller throws game 1, Skeens gets the home opener. I think they're going to figure something out early in the season to do something. So I think one of those guys will get the home opener. The other one will get opening day. So, and you're probably right. You're probably going opening day is Skeens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Keller gets the home opener or something like that. Maybe you give Skeens both of them. I don't know. I don't think it lines up that way. It's 7 games, right? We're on the road for 7 games. I don't know. Maybe it is Jones. Maybe Jones, number 3, just gets the home opener and they just roll with it. 5-man rotation. He's the one that falls.
Yeah.
But that first home series, man, could you imagine saying we've got 3 games on the weekend at home and we're not going to pitch Keller or Skeens? Like, that's just not going to happen. They're going to get creative.
Yeah.
At least I think. They're going to get creative. I don't know. Check a couple messages here. Steel City says, is it crazy to think that Hayes and Sawinski could just catch fire? They've been there before. I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy
Hayes needs to be healthy. I think no matter what way you look at it, when Hayes is bad at the plate, it's while he's dealing with back stuff.
Yeah.
So somehow, if he can get that back, then I think Hayes is still fine. I don't think he's what we saw in that short sample his first year. Like, I don't think that's Ke'Bryan Hayes. But I think he could be a good enough hitter that's good in your lineup at number 6 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I still think he's a good player and still an extremely good defender. I just don't see... I I just don't see the offensive outbursts from Key Bryan so long as he's got back problems.
Right.
You're just not going to see it. Jack Swinsky, on the other hand, had a bad year. He made massive changes in the offseason. He came in trying to lower strikeouts, and he did just that, but it made him a completely different hitter, and it actually hurt him more than it helped him. Go out there and hit bombs. And if it means that you get behind the count because you haven't gotten your pitch, just go out there and hit home runs. Like, that's your strength.
Yeah.
But that's Sawinski, and you deal with that, right? You can't, he's not a guy you want to put in the 3-hole, and he's a guy that's going to be a perennial all-star, but he is a productive player in a lineup who can help you win games, and he would be good. And we need that power. I'm probably higher on Sawinski than I am Hayes at the plate for what kind of impact they can make, because the power is the impact that Sawinski can make. The floor might be better with Hayes because of what he does on defense. And if Sawinski comes out hitting like he did in 24, it might be it for him in Pittsburgh. So that's the thing. But yes, it's not crazy. No, I guess is the answer to that. No, it's not crazy. They absolutely could.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to rely on it. I want him to have to push somebody out of the way, because that's when you know you got the guy you want. Mutu says not 6-man rotation thing, but he says I want Skeens pitching as much as he can. And with a 6-man rotation, I'm not sure there, but yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you're not going to do that. This is a good little one here. Steel City DW says the bet MGM division odds: plus 1,000 Pirates, 850 Cardinals, 600 Reds, 240 Brewers, 105 Cubs. So how do you look at it now, saying it's Cubs, Brewers, Reds, Cards, Pirates going in next year, as they are right now, as the rosters are right now?
I think it's tough to bet against our pitching, man.
I think the Cardinals are below us.
Mm-hmm.
Those top 3, though, might be the top 3 if the Pirates can't get something else going. And I just don't know how you... What is this? Is this to make the playoffs? To win the division. I mean, I'd bet $10 on it just because $10. What's $10? I mean, look at that. I mean, seriously. I mean,
I will.
The teams in the way, like, we're not talking about, like, the Cubs got better with Tucker, undoubtedly, but then they got a little bit worse with Bellinger gone. Not much, but they got worse.
Tucker's power is going to be a lot less visible.
Oh, I think so.
It's 350 something down the line at Wrigley?
Down the lines at Wrigley is not fun.
Woo.
And Houston, we all talk about left field in Houston, but like right field's pretty nice too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it's far.
Right.
And it's just a good place to hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some... I still think he's great.
But I've heard people talking about this. Who's the last like big lefty power hitter you've known to play for Chicago?
Oh, that's a good question.
That
wasn't easy.
I'm talking like a dude that hit home runs.
Left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, like you could say Ian Happ, but he's a switch hitter.
Right.
But he's still a good hitter left-handed.
But it's not your left-handed power bat. I don't know the answer. They didn't. I don't.
They might
know.
not have an answer. I mean, I'm just trying to think of all the Cubs sluggers, and so far they're all right-handed. I mean, Mark Grace was awesome, not a power guy.
Right.
Kyle Schwarber, Anthony Rizzo. That Giga just brought it in. Look at that. Anthony Rizzo's your guy. Great point. Look at that. How do we not think of those two guys first? At least Rizzo.
Did Rizzo, was he a power guy?
Yeah. I mean, what do you want out of a power guy?
30. So he did 32,
30,
31,
30,
32,
30,
32.
30, 4 straight
Yep,
seasons
4
of
straight
30.
years.
Yeah. Absolutely a power guy. And again, 30 and that was when he was in New York, but still. Absolutely. There you go, man. Check that out. 11 at bats at Wrigley for Tucker last year. 364, 916 OPS at Wrigley. Dude, the thing is like I'm never
He's still gonna hit. I love Tucker. You're awesome. I'm big on Tucker.
Yeah, you're not gonna talk Tucker down. It's just like, what are Tucker's home run numbers? How many do you drop? 5 at the most, if that. You know what I mean? Like, how many home runs does he legitimately lose there? Probably 5. He's still phenomenal. I don't think that's if anything, that's a testament to say they finally got one back.
Yeah.
But Rizzo, to me, is more of a power guy.
I forgot that he was hurt a lot last year.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
That's a big difference because he's only hit 30 twice.
Here's a good question, though. Bucko Mike says, do you give Hayes 2 days at DH?
I don't.
If he's not playing.
He's not playing the field. He's not playing.
He's not. Yeah, if he's not on the field, he's just not playing.
It's not even like this Steel City. Like, I can't imagine Hayes at DH. His D-WAR is too high. Like, that's fine. But, I mean, like, swinging the bat is what hurts his back. Like, that twisting motion is worse on his back than fielding.
Well, he said that it hurts when he's hitting and when he's diving for a ball.
Yeah.
So, like, if his back's hurting, he's also not as good on defense. We saw that last year.
Yeah. But I just don't think giving him
lifting weights is what's hurting his back.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know if giving him 4 at-bats without playing the field is really saving his back.
Well, even if it's to me, you're right. It doesn't save his back. I guess there is a saves his back here. I don't think it does. I think resting is the only thing that's going to be effective. And the point I was going to make here, but then I saw the saves his back comment. It doesn't help the team. There's other guys, there's other guys that you could, like, you're not only putting him, like, our third basemen aren't great at hitting right now, unless he's blowing up. Then I could see, like, all right, let's put him at DH too for days off. Because then it is like anything off is going to be a little bit better. But now you're trying to get Kutch on the field, or those are Kutch days off, and a lot of Kutch days off. You're seeing a lot of Reynolds getting the DH spot because he's going to be playing outfield again. So that's going to be key. Mm-hmm. Reynolds wants to play 160 games. And the only way he can do that is if his days off are at DH. And so they'll use those. And I just don't if you start doing that with everybody, then you just don't have a DH. Right? Which is how I thought the Pirates were going to use the DH until McCutchen came back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say no. But to Bucko Mike's point here, like, there is a little, like, anything you don't have to do is going to be better. I just don't think it helps the team. It'll help Key, but not as much as it doesn't help the team.
Yeah.
What time is it? Where are we at here?
9:51.
Oh, we're about there. We didn't really do anything Christmas. And it is Christmas coming up this week. You wore a sweater, you wore a hat, you got your cheeks, all that stuff. So
my wife has the round gold rim glasses. I should have wore those too.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to see anything, but
sure. I understand. Listen, guys, we had thought of let's do like a Christmas movie themed Pirates something. Let's do a buddy of mine said, why don't you do pirate or batter walk-ups, Christmas songs for all the players? And I was like, oh, that might be okay. And then I think what it comes down to is I don't have, this doesn't do it for me. I don't do, you know what the best part of Christmas is for, somebody like me? Just the kids opening presents on Christmas morning. Like, if I'm going to get any joy, it's not going to be because I heard a song and be like, oh, that song makes me think of Christmas. This is fun. I'm always like, really, dude, we have to do this. Or I don't watch movies, let alone Christmas movies. Like, I want, when the kids are like, let's watch a Christmas movie, I'm like, all right, put on the Grinch. Like, not the OG, not these new ones. I want to see the Grinch. I want to see Rudolph. I want to see, what's the other one? Frosty's good. I like Frosty. Well, I don't know. I want to see those old
Santa
things.
Claus is coming to town.
Yeah, that one's fine too. I mean, that's like, I'm doing it just for nostalgic purposes at that point. They're not good. Just not good. But like, give me something that's going to be less than an hour or an hour and I'm done. Right? I just don't, I don't do the Christmas stuff that much. I'm going to wear my black shirts and whatever. I'm not doing it to be rude, right? But it's like, what gets me is when my kids are pumped.
Yeah,
that's like, there's the spirit. There's Christmas spirit. So like, I'm not like a full Grinch, right? You know what I mean? I'm just like mostly a Grinch. I don't know. Dave says, my kids are grown. Not as much fun watching them open presents. That's kind of like a going through the motions kind of thing, right? Like, oh, okay, we're just doing a gift thing. Let's go. Oh, I told you I wanted this.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? It's like, that wasn't, I don't know. I know it's me. So if you guys are way into Christmas, share it with me. Cause I'm I'm going to be a nice guy all year round. I don't have to wait for this time of year. So I don't care. But I just had a struggle time. Yeah. And I struggled to say like, I don't mind. How am I going to build anything around this? If I don't even like, I looked at a list of 100 Christmas movies before this. I've heard of like 25 of them, maybe. And 15 of those 25 I knew about, but never saw. I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Oh my gosh, we got some chats in here. Steel City, oh no, this is where Josh and Jake announced they're ending British Buctober. Certainly not.
No.
However, we're not going to have a show this week. This is our show for this week. We're not going to do a show Thursday night. I'm going to have people at my house. You're going to be traveling that day. Is that right? I don't know your timeline. Yeah. It's something like that. Maybe not quite yet, or you're leaving that. I don't know. Or getting ready to leave. I don't know what your schedule is. But either way, I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah.
But before that, no. And it just was it's just one of those things. I think a lot of people got a lot of things to do. And quite frankly, unless Ben Sherrington does something, all we're going to do is talk about right field again. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
Yeah. And we're already planning on not doing a show Thursday. So this is when he's going to do something, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, if he does something, you'll hear from me. I'll pop in and do something. And if you're available, you can pop in and do something with me. I don't know what, if you're going to be on the road, I don't know, but.
Yeah. I'll probably be in a car.
Dave says, I'll get a new Pirates hat and we'll go eat breakfast at the Waffle House. Do you know what you're getting for Christmas?
Me?
Yes.
No.
All right. So this is the thing. You've got two different people on this podcast, like two completely different people. I know everything. As a matter of fact, Katie tried to surprise me with something and it came and I picked it up on the porch in the box and I brought the box in. Well, it's a vinyl. It's in a box. It's in a 13-inch box that's thin. You know it's a record. And her eyes light up, and I'm like, and I made the most obscure thing, right? One of my favorite albums of all time. I've probably got like 5 to 10 of them. Favorite albums of all time. Do you know what it is? If I was to say like, oh, you got your hands on this, and I was totally believing that she didn't, would you know what mine is? This is like a test to see how much Jake knows me.
I probably wouldn't, because I feel like there's some that you're like, you throw out every once in a while, and I'm just like, really?
Terminal, How the Lonely Keep.
Okay.
You knew that one.
I wouldn't have gotten there.
If you guys don't know,
as soon as you said it.
Yeah. Terminal, How the Lonely Keep. And it was so funny. I carried that in. I had no intention of opening it. I was going to let her have her thing. And I said, oh, you found Terminal, as a complete joke. And the look on her face, I just nailed it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. She's like, I can't ever do anything.
Wow.
And everything else is like, what are we doing here?
Like, I have like ideas of what she probably could have, but I don't. She just tells me not to go in her closet.
Yeah. I don't like surprises. I just don't like them.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's like, because if the person knows me, I do.
Our kids do. Well, the boys aren't old enough. Keely does. Like, she doesn't. When we were kids, I felt like JP. Happy birthday, JP. JP is our older brother. Today's his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
JP always wanted to know. So we were just like, went along with it, but we were always looking for him. I felt like it was this like mission that we were on as kids. We got to find where those are and see what we're getting. And we're always like, okay, is that what you're supposed to do?
So I'm going to give a little bit, and the ones that have been here for a long time probably already know this, but there's a reason that Josh is the way he is about Christmas. I promise you. And it stems back to an early age where every time bro got a cool Christmas gift, it went up in smoke.
Dude, you're actually probably right about this.
Literally. Bro gets a Game Gear. Let's date us a little bit. If anybody remembers what the Game Gear was, it was one of the coolest little Sega handheld. It was like a Nintendo Game Boy, but Sega. Bro plugs it into the wall, plugs it into
You don't have to plug it in, right? You had
to get it charged.
Okay.
But you had it plugged in, turns it on, and smoke just starts pouring out the top of it.
I didn't have one. One year I couldn't open up my gifts for a while because I couldn't find my contact lens. Found it on our leg.
It was on your ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be it.
There's some things that have happened to Josh here that, you know.
Not to happen to me. I was still getting gifts. I ended up getting all that stuff eventually, but
yes, but still there's some Christmas trauma.
Oh man, I didn't think of that. Might have something to do with it. And you're just like, what was it? You're just like, this is awesome. Sorry, dude.
I'm bummed out. I'm bummed out. Yeah.
Jake's like, look at my toy.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
Anyway, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe also I'm just, older and don't care. All right, Steel City DW. What Christmas traditions do you guys have? We're Italian. We do 7 fish on Christmas Eve. Smells up the whole house. That would not be good for me. 7 fish.
Cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls, Christmas morning, 100%.
It's changed a little bit through the years because, you probably still get yours on Christmas morning.
Still get
Katie makes yours.
Katie makes them, same exact, like she makes mom's cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. I get them when I go to mom's.
Yeah. Yep.
Which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
but we'll get them Saturday. And I'll probably eat a dozen.
I mean, these are not little guys. They're like...
They're not huge, though. They're not like Cinnabon.
No.
They're not like
not
Cinnabon
That's a good
rolls,
point.
dude.
They're not. Yeah, they're just not the small ones.
And I eat a dozen in like 4 hours.
That's true.
Like you eat like 6 or 7.
It's your breakfast and your lunch.
Yeah.
Steel City DW, I'm switching from 7 fish to cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
They smell a lot better.
A lot better.
Than the 7 fish.
My wife's family, they would always get together on Christmas Eve and they would do sushi.
So similar.
Yeah, it's very similar, but I'm out on that train.
Do you do any seafood?
No, it can stay right out there.
Yeah, me neither. Leave it out there for the sharks.
Yeah, they need food too.
And they need to eat less of us. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much else. I mean, what do you eat? Typically.
Me?
Yeah, like what's your Christmas meal? And is that your
ham.
Is that okay, so you do the
cinnamon
ham
rolls
on
and
Christmas.
ham.
Cinnamon rolls, ham. Okay. We're going to do a ham. We're doing it on Christmas Eve this year. I think we're doing
you mean as far as like just legit me and Ashley?
Well, yeah, I mean like now
we don't have a tradition.
You don't have anything. Okay.
No, we don't. No.
It's whatever you get wherever you go.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Bucko Mike's in on cookies. Lots of I had 3 snickerdoodles before this show. Because
nice.
Katie just made snickerdoodles tonight. Yeah, we're doing a roast on Christmas this year. We are going to do a ham though. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat it or not. For those of you who aren't longtime listeners, still dealing with a post-COVID thing. Still some things I can't smell and eat. But I got beef back. That's been awesome. Dude, I had one of the most normal days on Friday. I had an Arby's roast beef sandwich. Right? So that's the first one. And then we went to the movies to see Sonic 3. So once again, for those of you with the smell and the post-COVID stuff, like popcorn is awful. And I was able to just sit through a whole movie without getting sick. Went to it just felt normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A celebrity roast of Bob Nutting. Yeah, well, I think that one would be tough to watch. Right?
Yeah.
That one would be tough
rough
to watch. Gosh, I just hit that hand again. All right. Dave says we have steak on Christmas Day after Waffle House breakfast.
Okay.
Wait, so when you said the hat and the Waffle House, you do Waffle House on Christmas? Okay. I didn't know that it would be open.
Oh, the Waffle House doesn't shut down. If the
Waffle House doesn't
If
shut
the Waffle
down.
House shuts down, you got problems.
Yeah.
Listen, we got on both sides of the interstate every exit down here.
Sherrod says, homemade fruitcake, don't knock it if you don't try it. I won't do either one of those.
That's funny.
You do you. That's awesome. Every Christmas morning they go to Waffle House.
It's awesome.
Don't they have steak? Yeah, I mean they do, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Steak and waffle, yeah.
I'm once again not getting into roasting Bob Nutting.
Yeah.
Dang it, Bobby.
That's where I go with it. For no other reason than like it's done. Enough.
Yeah.
There's, it's out there. We all hear it. We all either agree with it or let it go. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's just not worth dwelling on when we have other things we could talk. Well, of course, right now, I mean, if Sherrington doesn't do anything, maybe we should just to have something else to do, right?
Right.
No. Anyway, yeah, especially not right now, right? This is Christmas. I don't have any Christmas sounds, right? No, that's not it. That's not it. I've got nothing.
Because those are the rules of Sticky McSnickens.
I don't have sounds for it. Sorry. I should have had some like bells or something like that. Hey, that's not the same kind of bell.
Not even close.
All right. Anything else Christmas related? Do you have a favorite Christmas song? You listen to Christmas music?
I mean, we play it every day at work.
All right, little rapid fire here. I'm going to come up with it on the spot. You not work. You choose it. Do you listen to Christmas music? Do you put it on in the car?
At the start of the season.
What is the start of the season?
After Thanksgiving.
When do you stop?
Because of work, probably about a couple days in. Because it's
No, I mean like
all the time.
when does the season stop?
Oh.
Yeah,
after
when
New
is this
Year's.
over? After New Year's. So it goes through New Year's. You're saying, oh, it's still the season.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, Christmas holds its own, but it's all the holiday season.
Okay, makes sense. Tree goes up when?
After the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, when's it go down?
Usually the first week of January.
Okay. Real tree or fake tree?
Real tree.
Is that you or is that Ashley?
That's Ashley.
Christmas lights on the outside of the house, yes or no?
No.
Okay. I gotta think of something else here. Well, you're wearing different clothes right now.
Yeah, I
Is
wore this to work today.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw you. Why did you say your name was Jacob?
Because was kind of what I go by at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like my name tag, everything says Jacob on it. There was
I had
at
a
one
theory
point there
that
was another Jake in the company that was affiliated with one of the other stores,
Yeah.
but they used his name a lot. So I just said just to make it easy, just call me Jacob. I couldn't care less.
Wow. I had a theory it was because the guy who won the contest you were announcing his name was Jake. So I thought you were like, I don't want to make it look rigged.
Yeah, well, there was that too.
That did actually come up?
That did actually
All right.
cross my mind. I was like, I better use Jacob because I didn't say my last name. So I was like,
All right, I got you. Okay, so let me think through those. No, I don't listen to Christmas music on purpose. I used to. I don't hate them. I'm just done with them. And I don't do new stuff, you know what I mean, in the same way, right? We do have Christmas records. We will play them, right? And that's it. I hear enough Christmas music everywhere else, very similar to you when you say work, that I just don't need to play them myself. Tree goes up reluctantly the day after Thanksgiving, only because I could care less about even having one up. It goes down after Serbian Christmas because of Katie's family, so it'll stay up through January 7th, and then it'll come down, which is also why I'm kind of like, are you in a hurry? We're going to have it up a little extra longer. But it's fine. I said it's fine. If you want to put it up, it's after Thanksgiving. Certainly no Christmas music till after Thanksgiving. I'd be more lenient on the tree than the music. We're not going to run the same songs back again for a whole month. They do. Whatever. Frozen is a Christmas movie, no matter what anybody says. I just threw that in there just for Keely. She fights with me about that. What else did I ask you? It is a fake tree.
Christmas lights outside.
No Christmas lights outside. It's way too cold for that. What else did I ask you? I did the tree. I did the music. I did the lights. I don't wear any different clothes. I don't think I have. As a matter of fact, on this show last year, I wore Katie's sweatshirt, the Wet Bandits. And I had planned on wearing it tonight. Totally forgot. And I didn't wear it. So here we are. Blending into the background again. I need to fix my lighting. I didn't turn that other light on. That's why.
Yeah.
I think that's all I asked you.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be more than that. Do you wrap your own gifts? Well, no, you don't know what you're getting.
No, but I wrap everybody else's.
Just like Dad.
My gifts are the only ones she wraps.
That's the way our house should be. I'll probably just throw them in a bag. I used to wrap, and then Katie
just
was
a
like,
lump of coal. I didn't want to get my hands dirty.
ouch. And then Katie was like, move over. And I was like, all right. She's been rapping since. It's just the way it works. I was like, all right, that's cool.
It was like almost the opposite with me and Ashley. She started wrapping gifts. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing?
You're just
like,
excited to do it. Yeah, Jake's going to be Santa Claus someday.
That's fact.
It's a fact. You will be a Santa Claus someday.
Yes, they pay well.
That's how he says it, to be like, well, it's not totally lame. They do pay well. You're fine. We had a like one of our dad's uncle was Santa all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Basically all year round.
Yeah.
Just the way he was. All right, guys. Well, let's see what we got here. Real tree. Great to decorate. Great to wear to a wedding.
To a wedding. Yeah. Like the Real Tree Clothing Company.
Oh. You're going to wear that to a wedding? You could have wore it to our wedding. That's for sure.
To each their own, man.
Definitely could have wore it to our wedding. You wear whatever you want. Our older brother wore a tuxedo t-shirt.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, JP.
Yeah.
Say it again. But yeah. I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Was this year that he gets to do the Icky Shuffle, right?
Oh.
44. That's me.
I'm
Woo!
saying anything.
It's fine. It's just a number.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to it, but it's also, I that's it. I look forward to it.
I like all the festivities around it. I like getting together with friends. I like doing things in the whole deal. Do a lot of traveling now that I'm down here. It's just a ton of fun that whole week I'm home. I don't know. I enjoy it.
There's still magic in the air for you. Oh my gosh. If you're just listening, he just twinkled his nose. So we had that. I need like a laugh track on here. Is what I need.
You had the pirate laughing on there.
You know what I used to? Do I have it on?
You're killing me, Smalls.
I have that. I do not have the pirate laugh anymore. I need to get that back.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all we have for today. A little bit extra for you since we won't be here later this week. Unless we get another miracle Christmas Eve signing or trade or whatever.
Yeah. I wouldn't hold my breath.
No, I wouldn't either. Hey, either way, let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
All right, guys. Thanks again for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff. It does help us out. We'll be back next Sunday, unless something happens, but we'll be back next Sunday with another show, live show on YouTube. Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks.
Dang it, Bobby.